I was pleasantly surprised by Senator Jon Tester, Democratic senator from Montana. He wrote an op-ed in AZ Central. It's called Senator Jon Tester, Members of Congress Who Incited Capitol Riot Must Be Held Accountable. And I saw the title of the piece, but I didn't think much about it. But then after reading that piece, he spoke about what occurred, but he said, a few days into the insurrection, as the president pressured Georgia's Secretary of State to find enough votes to overturn his election, 13 of my Senate colleagues took the shocking step of announcing plans to change or to challenge the outcome of the election. So right there, early in his article, he hits all 13 in rather strong terms. He says, maybe they did it because they believe it will help them in their next election. Maybe they did it to raise money, or because it's much easier to follow than to lead. Whatever the reasons, blame rests squarely on their shoulders. And listen to this part, because he's talking about his colleagues in the Senate. If traitors to our democracy aren't held accountable, we will fall under siege again. And if that happens, it will unfold with better planning and even bloodier results. I mean, it is amazing that a senator would speak this way about his colleagues, and justifiably so. But that is the way he spoke about the colleague. Read the entire article. It has a whole lot more in it. But he did an interview on MSNBC that I want you to listen to.
In a new op-ed that you have out this morning, and I think, listen, we'll see how that unfolds as far as trying to do three things at once in the Senate. But you're also talking about something else. You argue that members of Congress who incited the Capitol riot must be held accountable. I notice, unless I missed it upon my read, Senator, you did not name names here. So I'm asking you to do that. Who are you talking about? Are you talking about Senators Cruz and Hawley, and would you go so far as to vote to expel them?
I am talking about all 13 of them, including Senators Cruz and Hawley. And I think what really needs to happen here is the Senate needs to have the discussion and have the conversation of what's appropriate by their actions. I think that actions have consequences, just as I talked about the president. It's the same with the folks who serve in the United States Senate. In my opinion, they enabled the protesters to come to the Capitol, and only after they stormed the floor of the United States Senate did folks have a badge of courage to say, well, count me out on these objections. Far, far, far too late. So I think there needs to be accountability. Otherwise, it will happen again, and people will act inappropriately again. Okay. And I'm not just talking about small stuff. These guys were enabling an overrun of the United States Capitol.
Accountability, Senator, what does that mean then? Does that mean you would support something like invoking the 14th Amendment to expel these 13 senators? Would you get behind that?
I think it involves, first of all, a conversation. Second of all, everything from reassigning committees to stripping committees to censorship to ultimately, if it came down to this, expelling some.
Yes, so he said it. And listen to how he ends his piece. And to my colleagues who helped set off this tragic set of events, I urge you to take an honest look in the mirror and accept responsibility for the damage you've done. The future of our fragile democracy depends on it. In other words, take responsibility. Resign now or we will expel you. Think about that. A senator, a colleague is saying, Ted Cruz, Josh Hawley, you guys are traitors, and if after we've gone through everything it warrants expulsion, we will have no thoughts, we will spare no rot in making sure you're expelled. He didn't quite say it that rigidly, but I guarantee you, if Tester, we all know Tester as a measured senator. He's not one of those lefties, he's not one of those righties, he's one of those measured senators. Ted Cruz, Josh Hawley, both of them better resign, but we must push to ensure that they are at minimum expelled. We spend a lot of time deconstructing the news, trying to parse it into a form that everybody can understand. We try to find those little nitpicks where it flies above the fray, etc. If you really like these videos that we do, I want to ask a big favor. Please go ahead. Number one, subscribe to our channel. And number two, please join if you can. Thank you so kindly for watching. Keep watching. Please remember to share. We must populate the entire internet with our progressive message, a message that we know is what most Americans say that they want. So help us, please join.